Welcome to Collington's annual Decluttering and Downsizing webinar. I am Tia Ervin, and I am the Design and Move Manager for Collington. And for those of you who I have not yet had the pleasure of meeting, I have been a part of the sales and marketing team for 14 years, along with my colleagues Corey Hall, Sandy Short, Leslie DiCrispino, Serena Wilson, and our newest and greatest addition, Kathy Lavin, who is our new 2030 expansion representative. Kathy just kind of popped on the screen for a second. And so at the end of this event, you will hear about some exciting in-person events that Kathy will speak to, as well as some expansion events. So I'd like to speak about my role just briefly, but in my role, the most common questions I receive is, what do I do with all of my belongings? That question naturally leads us to today's topic with our trusted resource that we are pleased to introduce, Moyer Moving Group. We are fortunate to have Moyer Moving Group as a valued partner, supporting Collington residents for over 10 plus years. Their expertise in downsizing and relocation has been an incredible asset to our community. Joining us today are two outstanding professionals from Moyer, Joyce Nohowel. She is the president of Moyer Moving Group, and Risa Clow, senior sales and move manager. Both bring a wealth of knowledge and experience in helping individuals and families navigate the downsizing process with confidence and ease. To give you a better understanding of their backgrounds and expertise, I'd like to share a little bit about both Joyce and Risa. Both Joyce and Risa have been in the senior move management business for more than 10 plus years. Joyce and Risa have had the pleasure of working together with former clients as they are looking for their new homes within a senior living community. Their long-standing ethics, morals, and mission to help older adults are perfectly aligned to help support thousands of older adults with their senior living transitions. Both Joyce and Risa are here to say it is safe to move forward to an exciting full life of reinvention, new friendships, and joy. These true professionals truly lead with their hearts and expertise in every situation. Providing guidance and advocacy, their goal is to understand each client's unique needs to help them move with ease to begin living the lifestyle they envision. Their patience and professional styles lend themselves well to allow you to take this monumental task in stride. They can offer as much or as little support as you request. There is no need for you to manage this overwhelming process alone. Moyer plans to work alongside with you. And without further ado, I'd like to allow or just introduce to you all Joyce Nohowel and Risa Clow of Moyer Move Managing Group. Hi.
Thank you so much, Tia. Are there other comments?
No other comments from
Okay.
me. But
Okay,
we'd like
wonderful.
to, later on at the end, I would suggest Kathy may add some information about the upcoming events that we're having. And also, if there's a few questions, just start putting them in the chat and we'll try to filter through those questions as much as we can.
Thank you so much, Tia. Again, my name is Joyce, my colleague Risa. We've been working with the Collington family for well over 10 years. In fact, well over 10 years. We love the community. We love the vibe. We love the courtyards. We love the apartments. We love the common space. And it's been our absolute delight and pleasure to move many, many families in and around the Collington community over the years. So our goal today is to give you like an overarching tips of the trade, if you will, as far as just again, in 30, 40 minutes, it's hard to deep dive, but we'll give you some ideas about our processes that we encourage people to use, as well as a few little deep dives about what to do with the things that you don't want, because that always seems to be a topic of conversation for many folks. So tips of the trade, right?
Right,
Okay.
exactly.
There.
So, hi there. Thanks for joining us. We're so excited to continue this relationship with Collington. And we are on campus all the time. And we are there to support you, not just before your move, not during, but also after your move. We love to see you getting involved in the community and learning all about what Collington has to offer you. So I think it's important at first to consider what your new lifestyle might look like and how you might want to use your space that you'll be moving into. And that's just some visions, some thoughts that you have to encourage you as you begin your organizing and downsizing process. And I think that that is what I would find truly motivating, to know that you're moving into this fantastic community that has so much to offer. So there's different reasons why we downsize and why we begin to organize. We want to be as prepared for the event as we can be. We want to maybe begin with something in the home we need to modify for safety reasons. And that's an ongoing maintenance type living that you might find yourself in. And if you are local to the Collington community, we do offer a lot of different services that we could come out to your home, and we can secure your home in a safe way while you are waiting to have that call to say we have your dream forever home. Maybe the clutter is getting to be too much, and that's a perfect time to start to downsize. We offer a complimentary consult. We come out to your home and we do an evaluation of your home, of your situation, and we offer what's truly best for you. So as a wedding planner for a wedding might say, this is your personalized wedding, we offer your own personalized plan for your move and what your scope of work looks like for you. So remodeling, you might also remodel, but the biggest thing of all is your move and how do you prepare for your move. So if you've heard of the KISS method, which is
I like to say, keep it simple, sweetheart.
And that is truly going to help you so much in this future planning, because if you set goals where it is realistic and you feel that sense of accomplishment, then it's just so rewarding. And if you just take one room at a time, maybe one section of the room at a time, don't make those goals so astronomical that you're going to really get overwhelmed. So what you're going to do is go through and you can decide what you're keeping and what you're not keeping.
Exactly.
So what is most important to you? What brings you joy? What is so
Brings
if
you utility,
yeah.
brings you utility. It's things that you really, really love,
Right.
whether they have utility or not. And then you can start making decisions. Maybe some things have to go at the end, but at least start with
Sure. Right.
start with the good stuff.
So we
Yes.
use different colored tapes in our identification.
Painter tips.
Yes, it's painter's tape. It's not going to harm anything. And that's a good way. I just recently worked with a couple. They had a lot of stuff, a lot of papers, a lot of stuff. And it was overwhelming to them.
Yeah.
So they took blue painter's tape and they took each room and they went around and they each one at a time identified the things that was most important to them. And then their partner came behind. And then when they had some points of discussion, they had points of discussion. But it's a way of starting to identify what's important to you and looking at pieces, because when we live in a home with our loved items, we tend not to see them. And everybody has a different connection with something. So it's important, if you are a couple, that you make those decisions independently,
But then bring it together.
but then bring it together.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yes.
So I like to look at it as an umbrella. So when I come into your home, I like to say, you're most important. So you're the most important in this decision making on
Yes.
what you love, what you want to keep, what you want to take with you.
Yes. I always like to say if your daughter is lusting after your buffet, but you have a place for it in your new home and you want to keep it, then I say you jolly well keep. We advocate for you, and your daughter can just wait. Right?
Yes.
Yes.
And speaking of buffets, I think we all are of an era that the traditional buffet with the top
Oh, the
piece,
hutch.
the hutch,
Yeah.
the hutch in the bottom. So we like to repurpose things. So just keep in mind that with the items you keep, just because you've always had it as something doesn't mean that it
Doesn't-
always has to be that way.
Right.
So when we move, we want to gain storage space. We all know those hutches have an amazing amount of storage in the bottom,
Yes.
but maybe it's just a little too much for downsizing. So the great thing is the tops come off and then you can use it as a console. We like to use it as a console, maybe to anchor under a TV that might be wall mounted.
Exactly.
So we love to repurpose.
Yes, we get rid of the damask tablecloths and all the big serving pieces, and we fill the bottom part with things that you actually use. It could be games, your crafts,
In your new
and
lifestyle.
your new lifestyle. Exactly. So we love to repurpose and give fresh purpose for certain items.
So actually, once you determine what you want and what you need, then we look at family, as Joyce said. But what I like to do is in gifting, let's talk about family for a minute.
Sure.
So if your grandma had a set of china and grandma gave you the set of china and you don't need 3 sets of china moving to Collington because they have an amazing restaurant there that
Yes.
you'll be eating. And you may or may not be hosting the large family dinners the
Right.
way you did. So what I like to see happen is I like to see mom saying to the children, here's a serving piece from grandma's dishes. And here's one of grandma's favorite, best known recipes. And here's the recipe that goes with the serving dish. And then you share a memory of a past meal that you shared together or a funny memory that you have with grandma. And so now it suddenly isn't just a dish or a platter, it's a memory and it's relatable.
Absolutely. And it carries forward. So every time it comes to a special holiday and you are going to be preparing that special dish, you can also bring out the special dish and you can also repeat the story to the kids, the grandkids. They're all rolling their eyes because you've told that story a million times, but it feels good.
It's
Right.
what they say, may their memory be a
Exactly.
blessing, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So that memory is continuing through.
Yes.
Then we also talk about selling. What is it that you can that you have that we can identify that we can sell for you, and what it is that we can send to donation or trash and recycle. So these are primarily the categories that we focus on, and we look at it as phase 1 generally is your move. And then we look at it as phase 2, which is what do we do with everything that remains?
I like to use the word rehoming.
That's nice.
Isn't that nice?
Like a pigeon.
Exactly. So, before we get into some of the tips of the trade per se, everybody always wants to go right into, well, I have a lot of stuff that I'm not taking with me, and what's it worth? So let's get into that, and then we can talk about some of the tips of how we got to those items.
Sure.
So you'll see these gold bars. One of our colleagues was helping a family move, and she found this box of gold bars that they forgot. They forgot that they had. Now, I don't know about you, but
I don't know
how you forget gold, but they literally forgot about the gold bars. So we talk about financial value, but the stories and emotional value of other items also have to come into play. So it's not just what is my stuff worth to the market, but the first thing you have to evaluate is what's the stuff worth to you? Because we talked about not too long ago, you didn't buy your sofa as a financial investment.
Right.
Newsflash, right?
And actually your things are generally only worth what someone is willing to pay.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
a lot of us think this is an antique and it must be valuable and it has to be worth something. Or the word that I hear all the time is this is a nice desk.
Oh, yeah.
This is a nice lamp.
Well, we're sitting behind a nice desk.
It is
That
a
was
nice
my
desk.
father-in-law
It is a
that he
nice
got
desk.
from the federal government 65 years ago. It's a little beat up, but it's a nice desk. And guess what? I don't think anybody wants to buy my nice desk. So we have to take all of that into consideration of what is the market willing to pay for certain items. And I believe the number is 80,000 people turn 65 every day in the United States. I think it's up to that number. Let's just say a lot of people. And so a lot of people are also downsizing and they want to sell their items for the most amount of money. So they're putting those items onto the market. And I don't know if you, but I took macro and microeconomics in college. And there's this thing about supply and demand, right? So the more supply, then the less the demand, the dollar value. So you have to be mindful that something that's sold maybe for 10 years ago for a certain amount of money, it may not be going for that same amount now.
So here's a great example of that. And it's always good to get different opinions. I like going to our jewelry store in my area, and they have a company coming out that's called Rarity. And Rarity, they buy your gold, they will weigh it and give you the penny weight of the day, or they'll penny weight your silverware.
Okay.
And then they interpret it into the current cost per penny weight, and they give you the money. And they take finds that are unique and different, the same thing. And so I went there and I had my diamond ring appraised. It was my paternal grandmother's diamond, and it was a miner's cut diamond. And it had been appraised previously for a certain amount, and I needed to change that appraisal, get it newer for my homeowners. And the value in 5 years depreciated. And I was stunned.
Heartbreaking.
I was
Heartbreaking.
stunned.
Diamond, right?
Yeah, it was a diamond and it depreciated. And I said, why is that? And they said, because a lot of factors. So we now have the younger population is getting lab grown diamonds. That's what is in demand because they can buy a larger stone for less money. And then, of course, you get into the whole political piece of a miner's diamond, which is not ethical today. So just because at one point something is valuable, it's not necessarily always going to retain that value. But the inverse of that is scan furniture.
Yes. Mid-century modern, yes.
That's what they call it now. Mid-century modern. So if you're not from the DC area, I don't know if Scan was the furniture store. It was Scandinavian design. It's blonde wood, it's simple design.
Yeah.
But that's what is in demand today. And if you have that kind of furniture, you could get a high return.
It's not bad. It's not bad. You're still not going to get millions, but you're still going to get a nice amount of money for it.
Right.
Yes, yes.
So, but you have to weigh out the emotional value, the attachment that you have to those pieces.
Exactly. And we take that to, well, maybe I want to give it to my kids. And that's where most of the kids that we talk to these days, and when I say kids, we're talking about the 30, 40-year-old, okay, they want experiences. They are not into stuff as much as we were instilled growing up.
Yes.
I mean, your personal worth was about the amount of stuff you had. And now, the younger folks, They want experiences and they're willing to give up having ownership of stuff for their experiences. So you may have already experienced that with your own family, talking about grandma's china and other pieces that you have in your home that you're probably not going to take with you, or you suspect you're not going to. Hey, Susie, would you like to have my, credenza? And Susie's like, No, Mom, love you, but, right?
And not to be discouraging at all, because there are many places who we can guide you and we can steer you that would truly, truly benefit by this and experience it. We have so many resources
Absolutely.
that we can lead you to. And I was recently at a woman's house and we were reviewing, and she used to entertain all the time. She had 8 refrigerators.
Oh, my stars.
Yes, 8. And so I called on, we, as a division of our company, we work with Weschler's Auction House. And the things that do not sell at Weschler's, they then go
Donate.
once a week to Community
Yeah.
Forklift for donation. I called Community Forklift. They come to your home. They take the things, they come into your home, which is different from like a Lupus or Salvation Army. You have to put that on your doorstep.
Right.
But they came to her house and they were so delighted. They had actually 8 families queued up in need for refrigerators. So it's truly a wonderful feeling knowing that these items that you can't take with you are going to be enjoyed by others.
Absolutely. Which, leads us into the whole gifts thing. And in fact, Risa and I were just talking about gifts, and there's 2 ways of looking at gifts. One is gifts that you're giving to people, and the other are gifts that you have received. And sometimes there's strings attached, and sometimes they're not strings attached. So be mindful that when you're giving a gift to somebody, it's theirs
to do as they
want.
Yes. So if they want to take grandma's china and they want to drill a hole in it and they want to make it into a 3-tiered cookie stand,
or hang it on the wall, or then that's theirs.
It's
right?
theirs to do what they want. If they want to break it and make mosaics, they can break it.
That's when you're pearl clutching, right?
But there's always a repurpose.
Yes.
And it's really open-ended, because you can be as creative as you can be with taking these items. And it's a gift is really meaningful.
I think so.
Yeah.
If it's well intended, no strings attached.
But don't gift everything to don't say, here, all this is yours.
I tell you about the time that one of my lovely ladies wanted to give her literally her china set to her grandson in Chicago, and I got word back he didn't want it. Did I tell you this story? So I told her, your grandson doesn't want it. She said, I want him to have it. I want you to figure out how to get it to Chicago. So I reached out and I found out I was talking to his mother, and his mother said to me, Joyce, you do understand he's 8 years old. He doesn't want the china.
He doesn't want
the china. So sometimes we have to be a little bit realistic too about who we're giving what to.
The dowry.
Yeah. So which leads into the big thing, which is I want to sell something. Risa, how am I going to sell it? And what's involved with this, right?
Right. So the auction house, I always say that there's 2 different modes of auction. One is that you can have us come in, we can wrap and take, and we can take it to our auction house. So our auction house has 3 different levels of auction. And so when we receive it, what I call the bread and butter, or those weekly auctions, that is more everyday objects that you might find around your home that you no longer want, that they can sell on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Then as you increase the levels of auction, it's maybe the stickly furniture is the next level. And then the next level up might be
the Nakashima furniture.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yes.
So they have 3 different levels. And when you send something to auction, they generally started at 50% of the value that they anticipate.
Yeah, they have a sliding scale. They have a
Mhm.
sliding scale, and they will let you know about that in advance.
Well,
We will do
we
that, yes.
communicate
Yes.
with you. We have a colleague that is in constant communication with you and will let you know what is coming to auction and when. And it is the higher the value of the item that it sells for, the lower the commission
Correct.
that is taken, and then inverse of that, the lower the value of the item, the higher
The commission.
commission is.
Sure.
So to that point, they like you to get as much as you possibly can. So they may group some smaller
Yes.
items into what we call a lot. And that raises the value and it lowers the commission. So
Right.
it makes it
Yeah.
truly worthwhile.
Yes.
So there's the auction house that has a very wide reach. They promote your
Online.
items. Yes.
Yes.
It's all online.
Yeah, almost all of the higher end auction houses do online these days. And that all evolved out of COVID.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's terrific.
Mhm.
And then if you do have a very valuable item and you want to set a limit for the opening bid, you can do that. They allow you to do that.
Yes. Yes.
And if it doesn't go, then they give you another chance. And so it's what you have to do though is you have to weigh out what you anticipate getting from it
Yes.
versus what your investment in
Getting
it
it there.
is getting it.
Right.
Right.
Which leads to, whether you decide to do auction or if you want to do online yourself, the factors to take into consideration is how much of your time is involved in this and how much hassle. Then there's also the personal safety. If you're selling things online, and that may be that someone's coming to your home or you're going to a meet point, and we always say that there needs to be more of you than there are of whoever's meeting you. And then also it's cash only at this point. No checks, no cashier's check.
Oh, is that right?
Well, they
Mhm.
forge checks these days.
Oh.
Yes.
So you have to be very careful.
Yes, to be very careful. And then there's also the value, not only the value of the item, but the value to you. So there are a lot of other ways of selling items, especially online, but auction is probably the most expeditious
Mhm.
and the least amount of hassle.
Right. And in some cases, if you have a house full of items that you want to auction and you do not mind folks coming into your house, there is the in-home estate sale.
Yeah, there are fewer and fewer of those,
There's
but
not as many,
but that's still an
but
option.
it's still an option.
And you also have to be out of your house,
Yes.
and everything left is for sale. So you need to allow about 3 weeks
Yes.
between the time that you've moved out to when either you're going to rent your house or sell your house.
Right.
So that's also something to take into consideration.
And when we come out, we talk through all this
All
with
those
you. And
options,
we
yes.
also work with realtors. We also work on your timeline of what you're looking at so that we can safely do the handshake
Yes.
from making sure we leave enough time to sell your things or to ship it long distance. We do interstate, we do intrastate, we do overseas. So we factor all that into your scope of work and what works for you.
Sure. So let's just say that you've figured out what you want to sell and we've got a plan for that. And then there's still this other stuff.
What do we do with
What
it?
to do with the rest of the stuff?
Yes.
Because we don't want to just throw it away.
Right.
If we can donate it, then why not? Let somebody else get life out of the items that you had used that are no longer going to serve you in your new home. So we always say plan ahead. We are so blessed in this area to have a lot of nonprofits that either give or sell their items to further their mission.
Yes.
But they are also mostly staffed by volunteers. So their timelines have to accommodate the fact that someone is volunteering. And it can take anywhere, if they pick up your items, it can take 2 weeks up to 10 weeks in the busy season.
Right now, the outfit I was talking about, Community Forklift, it's getting into a busy season. So they're 3 weeks out right now. So,
And it'll just increase over the summer as people are
Yeah.
moving. It kind of goes down a little bit early fall. And then because people think that they still get a lot of tax benefit, there's a big push at the end of the year for donations to get that
But
401(c)(3).
I think I heard recently it was $9,000 is your maximum out of pocket each year
I don't know.
that you can claim
I
for
don't know, but you also have to have a percentage of there's a whole
Yeah,
accounting thing.
there's-
That's why you always need to talk to your accountant first, to find out, what percentage you're entitled to of donation, non-cash and cash charity donations. So, but
So
bottom line,
it's important to ask yourself, do I want to clear out the items in the house and feel good about knowing
yes,
that someone's using this, or do I want to have a cash return
yes,
at the end?
yes,
So I think
yes.
if you can answer that question, then it helps steer you in a good direction.
Absolutely. And then regardless of the nonprofit that you choose, be mindful that they have different criteria for what they're willing to accept. And most of them have a website. If not, you can always just call them
Mhm.
and just say, hey, I'm thinking about donating certain things. Will you accept those? And then also, what are the terms? Will you pick up? If so, is it at the curb? Is it at the front doorstep? Will you come into the home? Usually the driver has the last right of refusal. They always say if it's worn, torn, faded, or dated, they may not want it because they can't either give it away or sell it to further their cause. So just kind of be mindful of some of the conditions that they're dealing with as well.
So some of the things that might help you, some of the tips of the trade that might help you when you are going through your rooms, as I had mentioned earlier, start in a small space and then go through it. The last thing you want to do is create clutter
Yes.
while you're doing that. So you can identify things. So the one that I love is books. So with books on a shelf, there are a lot of us that love to read books. And so what I often suggest is that if you have an abundance of books and you will have a book buyer come in, then you go through your books and the ones that you want to keep, you pull down on the spine. So you know that you can always revisit that. You can always go back and say, what was that book that I wanted? And leave it on its spine. Then you can have a book trader or someone who purchases books come into your home and you can say to them, any of the books that are standing upright are available to you. And then they can take out what they want to buy from you.
Right, right.
The inverse of that is, as we were talking about earlier, is that Joyce, when she does this and there's not a book buyer in the picture, she leaves the books standing up that she wants to
Yes.
keep. And then the ones she doesn't want to keep, she pulls down on the
As
side.
long as you have a system and you know the system is the point.
And I think systems really, as long as you understand what your system is very beneficial.
Absolutely. Same thing about sorting clothing. Because a lot of you live in a home where you may have raised your children, and when they moved out, please tell me your kids have moved out, and you have moved into their bedrooms, and they become a guest room, or they become a craft room, or an office, or something. But some of the clothes that you used to wear and formal wear and so forth, they kind of drift from your regular closet into these other closets. So the next thing you know, you've got 4 bedrooms of closets. And now you're going to be, there you go.
I have a closet of jackets.
Oh dear. Okay. All right. Now we just told the world. And we always like to say, you're probably going to move into your new home. It's going to have a little bit less linen in your hanging space.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
So clothes are a little bit less emotion, generally speaking. And so that's a really good one to tackle because you can stay in the closet, so to speak, and have some tape like that Risa was talking about before. You can have a piece of tape and has an arrow going one way, and another piece of tape that goes the other way. And you can sort within the closet. So the items that you know you want to take with you are to the one side. And then the items that you're not going to take with you, they're no longer in style or they're no longer the right size or whatever, then they go to the left. That way they stay in the closet. They're not creating clutter in your bedroom or your office or whatever. And then when a nonprofit, Purple Heart, calls and says, "Hey, do you have anything to donate?" Yes, I do. It's all sorted and ready to go. You pull it out of the closet, put it in a bag, take it to the
There
front.
it goes.
There it goes, right out the door.
But you're not living in the clutter.
Exactly. So that's a nice tip. Oh, another tip. Don't pack your hanging items when you're getting ready to move.
Yes.
Now, because we bring wardrobes that you take out of the closet, you plunk your items on the hanger into the wardrobe, we close up the top, take it over to your new home, open up the wardrobe, pick them up, and plunk them in. And there's no charge for our wardrobes.
Our wardrobes are complimentary.
Yeah, as long as we get it back the end of move-in day,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So that's just another little tip. Don't pack your hanging items,
Mhm.
right?
Absolutely.
What other tips do you have?
What other tips for the kitchen?
Oh yeah,
There's
kitchen.
kitchen tips. So kitchen tips, a fun project is if you haven't remodeled your kitchen in a while, we tend to collect plastic containers. And so if you take an afternoon and you just say, I'm working on my plastic containers, my Tupperware, my leftover containers, we inevitably have lids without bases.
And bases without lids.
Bases without
Yes,
lids.
yes.
It's like when I used to say to my children, the sock monster seemed to have eaten a sock,
Right.
and you have all these remnant socks without mates. So if you begin to tackle that,
Yes.
and then you get rid of the ones that don't have mates, you really will begin to narrow down.
Yes. Oh, canned food
Yes.
items. Yes.
Expiration dates.
Oh, my stars. Yes. Yes. We tend to just, we bought stuff, we used it for a while, and then all of a sudden we stopped eating
Or
that
BOGO.
item.
Is that what it's called?
Buy one, get one free or whatever it is.
BOGO.
Yeah, BOGOs. And so you have a whole lot of canned peas, and all of a sudden you don't like canned peas anymore, but there's canned peas in there, and they've been in there for 8 years.
Yeah.
So because we just leave them in there, right?
Well, we get them because we think we might need them,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
And then they expire.
Right.
But no more Costco and no more big box, big superstore.
Yeah, if you're
run.
moving in the next year or two, we say
Stop.
stop with the big, unless you know you're going to consume it.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
Toilet paper's okay.
Toilet paper.
Yeah, okay.
You'll use it.
And paper towels.
Although they take up a lot of
Yeah, well, they
space.
do. They do.
A lot of space. And wrapping paper. So I know that we have a tendency to save and keep and think, well, I'll reuse this piece of wrapping paper, or
Mhm.
I'll save it from the holidays and I'll flatten it out. And then the holidays come, and then we realize, oh, I'm in a hurry. I'll just go get a bag.
Yep.
Bag and tissue.
Mm-hmm.
So think about your lifestyle and how it's evolved. Do you really still wrap presents? If you don't wrap presents, then you could donate all those rolls of wrapping papers that take a lot of room,
Yes.
right?
So just extend that to other items. If you go into your garage, there are going to be tools that you used to use and you probably don't tune your car anymore. I don't change the oil in my car anymore. So I gave those things away as well because somebody's doing it. I'm just not doing it anymore.
And then, and another thing that is really very, very helpful, I think it's at any given time, is to reevaluate your current medications.
Oh, yeah.
And to look at the medications that are currently the ones that you use, and go through those cabinets and pull out the ones that are no longer in use and that you're holding on to the end of. And disposal of those, you can always call your pharmacy.
Yeah, a lot of pharmacies have, there's a CVS near my home, and they have this, it looks like a mailbox, but it's a place where you can take your old medications and you can just dump them in there, and it's safe.
You don't want to put it in your sinks. You don't want to flush it down the toilets. I had heard firehouses
Some do.
one time did.
Some do. So you can call your local pharmacy and they can usually tell you where to safely dispose of old medications.
Yes.
Yes.
That's very important.
Yeah. In
Risa and
fact,
Joyce, you
yes.
guys, these are great, great, great tips. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but we have a few questions.
Oh,
And
okay,
Oh,
I
let's
fun
just
go
kind of
for
part.
like
it.
to pose some of these questions to you and just ask a few
Sure.
Sure,
questions.
let's do it.
And
Let's do it.
so people would like to know what would be a good time for them to even start working on the downsizing and the decluttering. I mean, some people are on the wait list to come to Collington, but at the same time, they feel like they're frozen, like what to do. So, what would you guys suggest about a good time of the whole decluttering and downsizing?
So Tia, what are you doing in about an hour?
No, no time like the present.
Well, you always say start now, but have a plan. So you may not be moving for a year or 3 years or 5 years. That doesn't mean that you can't start your plan now and then just tweak your plan as life goes on. I can assure you that you're pretty busy every single day. And then to say automatically, I'm going to wait until Tia gives me a phone call, or Corey or Sandy are going to give me a phone call and say, your wonderful new home at Collington is ready, and you're going to go, "Eek." So let's avoid that and have a plan now. And might be, I'm just going to do all my closets over the course of the next 3 months,
Mhm.
6 months. I'm going to do the basement. I'm going to do the garage. I'm going to do the attic. Oh my God, attics. Don't forget that you have attics. There's stuff in it. That other people may have left things in that attic and you haven't seen that attic for a while. So we always say just start now, but have a plan and just be mindful of your own time and your energy. And if you love to travel, then you make factor that in as well so that you can still do all the things that you love, but you're comfortably getting ready for the phone call, whether again it's a year, 3 years, 5 years from now.
And what I wanted to also add is that we, excuse me, we're members of NASM. It's National Association for Senior Move Managers. And so we all speak the same language. So if you're out of state and you're looking to move long distance, we can connect you with a resource in your area that can work one-on-one with you.
Mhm.
And there's no reason why you couldn't reach out to them. They could come to your home. They should offer you a complimentary consult. And they should come up with a proposal or a plan that they see that their vision is for you in order to get you ready or on track
Right.
for your move.
As we do here.
Same as what we do here.
Right.
But the wonderful piece of that is if you're coming from out of state, then we talk to each other and we coordinate with them.
Sure.
So we offer a complimentary floor plan if you're moving into Collington. That complimentary floor plan begins to give you the idea of, the furniture that you can bring and then the content that can go within it. So if you have an idea of whether you're looking for a 2-bedroom apartment, a 1-bedroom, a villa, a cottage, then start to think about how you might want to use that space and what pieces you may want to bring with you. Maybe you want to get all new. And we've
Or,
done that
or
too.
pepper with a few new pieces. Like the dining room table, maybe you're not going to be serving 20 people, but you are still going to be serving 6. So maybe you have to look at some smaller pieces for you.
But we can work coinciding with the move managers from the other areas.
Yep.
And it's important that you create an inventory and that you start with taking measurements if you're comfortable with that.
Yep.
Because that's the foundation for your move. And that's the foundation for our complimentary floor plan that's generously given to you by Collington.
It's the roadmap.
It's the
Yes.
roadmap.
Yes,
What's the next
yes.
question, Tia?
Yes, yes. Just a small question pertaining to, so if I'm moving from a larger house and I move to a smaller apartment or cottage at Collington, do you guys have any kind of suggestions like Murphy beds or how to start living smaller, if you'd say? I didn't want to prolong it too much because I wanted to introduce my colleague Kathy Levin about the next events coming up. But what would you guys say? What kind of suggestions would you add for like smaller living?
Well, the first thing is we look at the pieces that you have and see if we can repurpose them. Going back to the buffet and the hutch, that's a perfect example of we're not going to use, maybe we're not going to use the buffet as a dining room piece of furniture anymore. So that can take the place of another entertainment
Mm.
item. So that's living smaller, but using existing furniture that allows for storage. We're big into storage. Sofas, sometimes we need to reevaluate the size of the sofas. If you're in a larger home, you tend to have a larger sofa. And by doing the floor plan design, we can, placing the other pieces of furniture, we can let you know if your sofa is going to fit, or if maybe you need to think about a smaller sofa, and we can give you the dimensions of what would comfortably fit in your new home. Same thing is true with dining room tables or other dining type of pieces. We may want to go to a smaller table. And again, once we put the other pieces of furniture into your floor plan design, then we can tell you the size of table and number of chairs that will comfortably fit in your new home.
So there is another piece to that, and Collington's crew that they use, the other uh, people who are doing the renovations within your apartments, they are fantastic. They do fine craftsmanship, and they do Murphy beds.
Mhm.
And I have seen beautiful Murphy beds. I've seen beautiful built-in desktop surfaces, even desktops that
Mhm.
blend right into a Murphy bed.
Mhm.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be something that you bring in. It could be something that you have customized
Yes.
for your space
And
there.
there's so many different options. You say there's
Yeah.
one that looks like a sofa, and then you take off one of the bolsters, and then the bed comes down in between the arms of the sofa.
Oh.
It's really, really cool. There are a lot of different innovative ways of using Murphy beds these days.
Mhm.
They're amazing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I didn't want to belabor our time because I know Kathy has to
Yeah.
speak to
Yes, of
our next
course.
event. But how can people find you guys and discuss fees and things of that nature? Are you guys putting up a slide with your information?
We are. It's right here. And then also, please feel free to, it's not on there. It's the other one. Sorry. Here we go. So feel free to call us on the main number, which is 301-685-7900 in the Maryland suburban area. If you are over in the Baltimore area, call us on the 410-515-1199. And ask for Risa, and Risa would be happy to chat with you and talk about your circumstance and your timelines, and we can come up with a plan.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you guys. You guys are such a valued partner of ours. I tell
Yeah.
people all the time, you helped me so much. And it's an investment in our residents or future residents' sanity. That is my mantra when I speak of you. So now
Wonderful.
I
Thank you.
will, absolutely, I will pass this
Thank
on to
you.
my colleague, Kathy Lavin, who is our 2030 expansion representative, and she'll talk a little bit more about some of the upcoming in-person events. And if anyone wants any information pertaining to Moyer Move Managing Group, please, you can also contact myself or any one of my colleagues and we'll hand over that information to you.
Thank
Kathy,
you.
Thank you, Tia.
Thank you.
thank you,
Hi,
ladies.
Hi,
Kathy.
Kathy.
Yeah, thanks, Risa. Thanks, Joyce. I don't know what we'd do without your partnership.
Correct.
I'm Kathy Lavin. As Tia told you, I am part of Collington's team here, and I'm working on our expansion project, which is Collington 2030. And I am just here to help with any questions you have about expansion. We certainly have, if you don't know, Collington is full these days. So there's a good chance if you want a cottage or a villa, that the expansion project might be the way for you to go because it will probably be available quicker than one of our current homes are. So you can reach out to us about that. I was mainly here to talk to you about we're having a villa parade of homes on April 9th, and that's at 11 a.m. You can go to our website and sign up for it. Just click on Collington and then events, and our parade of homes will show up. The villas are generally our largest homes, and they have a garage. So that kind of sets them apart from our other homes here, our cottages and our apartments here. So if you have to have a garage, the villa is the way to go. And this is a great opportunity at the Parade of Homes to see our current residents' homes. And you also get a chance to talk to them to see how they feel about living here at Collington. And finally, you'll get a lunch provided by Collington and get a chance to taste what our cuisine is like here. Because we all know when moving to a new home in a senior living community, the experience is part of living here, whether it's dining or going to one of the wonderful events that we hold on a regular basis. Every day, there's at least a dozen activities to choose from that you can do. So you can participate in as little or as much as you can want by living here at Collington. So again, if you'd like to attend our Parade of Homes, please either call us or give us go on to the website and click on the events and sign up. We'd love to have you. Thanks.
Thank you, Kathy. I didn't know if anyone had any additional questions. I know Kathy spoke a little bit about the expansion, as well as about what is currently going on with Collington and the fact that yes, we are at a high percentage rate of occupancy. But in saying that, if you are on the list, there is a level of urgency. And so, please be mindful of that. This is one of the reasons why we had this event, this fantastic decluttering and downsizing event with Joyce and Risa, because they can start the process. And so it won't be so overwhelming when you do get the call, when we say, hey, something is available. If anyone has any additional questions, again, please follow up with me and me or one of my colleagues. You can also follow up with Joyce and Risa in regards to what to do with my stuff.
Absolutely.
So thank you again. Thank you everybody for attending.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
And we are
you.
all here for for you, and we are your resource. So we appreciate you taking the time out for this wonderful, amazing, informative event. And thank you, ladies. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our
Thank you.
pleasure. Take care.
Take care,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.